there's a real kill on this one.
Good morning. So we're out, me, Andy and Billy Bob. It's a beautiful day and we're in the Lake District. I've not actually been out in the Lake District for quite a while, for a good month or so, as you're all probably aware that my dad passed away 3 or 4 weeks ago. So I've been in Cornwall for the funeral, and then we went camping in Yorkshire. You won't have seen the video yet probably from myself, but you should have seen Andy's one. So let's get to the point of where we are. We are at Martindale. We've parked by St. Peter's Church, which is behind me. There's ample lay-by parking. And we're going to head up and do a few Wainrights today. What's the plan? First one's going to be Bonscale Pike, then heading over to Loadpot Hill, over to Wether Hill, and then Pikeawassa, or Steel Knots. That's the plan. We'll see how much energy I've got, because I've not done any proper hill walking for a long time. So I'm a bit out of it. And I've got one of my subscribers to thank for this walk. She gave me the idea. So you know who you are, and if you watch this and you've already done it, then I hope you still enjoy it, and if you haven't already done it, I hope it's informative for you. Yeah. Where's Andy? Do you want to say good morning?
No.
Why?
Morning.
Anything else?
No.
No. Bye.
Bye.
So from St. Peter's Church, you can see Pikeawassa. That's that hill there. That's going to be our descent route. We are going to head towards Bonscale Pike. So we're going to skirt around the flanks of Pikeawassa on a good track. You can see it just curving round. We'll go around the back there, and that's Bonscale Pike somewhere up there. It's quite a steep pull onto Bonscale Pike this way. And there's bracken, lots and lots and lots of bracken. So that could be interesting. I'm going to start getting views of Ullswater in a bit. It is so still this morning. It's like glass, that lake. There's definitely plenty of water coming off the fells today. Oh, I was actually lying in bed last night, and it suddenly popped into my head about the start of this walk onto Bonscale Pike, about how much bracken it's going to be. So there could be a little bit of bashing through bracken at the start of Bonscale Pike. Yeah. I know I shouldn't laugh, and I really hope this person is not a subscriber. If you are, it was funny. I just had a person pass me, a guy, and I just looked round when he passed, and he's got the tightest, smallest shorts on ever. It just looked so funny. I do apologise if you do watch this video, but it did look funny. They are far too small for you. Okay, from this vantage point you can see two paths. Now, in my opinion, it's much easier, I think, remember rightly, to go up that waggly path there onto that knoll and then head diagonally up to Bonscale Pike instead of heading up that path there. That's a lot more steeper when you get to that point. That is easier, less steep. This is a lovely valley. If I remember rightly, it's called the Fusedale Valley. And you can actually do a shorter walk heading up the valley, just to include Pikeawassa, which is that hill there. And it's a lovely short walk. But you can see there's Bonscale Pike up there. Loadpot Hill will be way over in the middle, somewhere over there. And Wether Hill, and we're going to come down, whether you can see the path or not, probably not. We're going to come down onto the coal there and then head up Pikeawassa. You might see it better from another vantage point, but it's a lovely valley. I've just seen the most amazing stone arch in this person's garden. I'm going to have to show you this if I can. There's that stone arch I was talking about. Can you see it? Fantastic. Not sure if I can get a close-up of it. That is as close as I can get to it. Hi Billy. So as soon as you head through the gate past the house, we're taking the first available grassy trod through the bracken, as it is quite thick. Yeah, bracken bashing, ticks. Look at the view looking back though. Pikeawassa. Pikeawassa. That's Helen Fell, Ullswater. Oh, it's a scorcher today. It really is warm. There's not a breath of wind. And it's a steep pull. We followed the wall for a little bit, but we're now leaving the wall. There's a black dotted line on the OS map directing you to Swarth Fell. It's less steep this way. It still is steep, mind. It's very wet underfoot and so humid. Looking back into Fusedale Valley, so green. Pikeawassa, you can see the summit there now. What a view. You make sure as you're heading up you go past this boulder amongst the sea of bracken. There's a path here somewhere of sorts. So go up here. There's a very, very faint grassy trod, very faint, just visible through the bracken, heading up and then diagonalling along up there. Actually, scrap that. There's actually a proper path there. That must be the direct one from the front. So you can do an alternative, more direct way straight up the front. You've got a cairn there, and it's a much wider grassy path. I've just had a wee, bared my arse, as you have to on the hills, unfortunately. There's no toilet. And I had loads of ticks crawling all over me. So now I'm really paranoid I've got a tick stuck to my arse. I've just told Andy and he's now going to spray himself.
Well, you've got ticks all over your ass. I don't want them.
I know.
Jungle juice.
I can't spray that on my arse.
Oh.
And it's as steep as it looks. Trust me on that one. But look at the view. Martindale, Patterdale, the Eastern Fells and Ullswater. There he is, he's getting there. It now doubles back and does a bend. Still heading up, but we're nearly there now. We've made it.
Easy peasy.
You reckon?
No, seriously, hard work.
Steep, innit?
Tough ascent.
Okay, that should be most of the hard work done now. Now it's just gentle inclines to each summit, because it's a relatively flattish ridge. So I'm hoping there's lots of water on the tops for Billy, as it's kind of like marshland, moorland, that kind of ground. I'm just heading to Bonscale Pike now, and you get a fantastic view. It's the best view of this walk, I think. Or maybe Pikeawassa.
Pikeawassa!
Pikeawassa's got an epic view into Martindale. Our last
hill
of the day.
UK, there is only 2 hills in the UK with Japanese names.
Tinto
And
Pikeawassa.
Tinto in southern Scotland and Pikeawassa.
So just heading to Bonscale Pike summit. There we go, heading towards the edge first, because that's where you get the epic view. We'll head to that hump in a bit, and there's nobody on it. But you see what I mean about this view of Ullswater. Here's the cairn. I think this is the cairn of Bonscale Pike. There we are. How high, Andy?
524
metres. Bonscale Pike with an epic view. You've actually got some towers
just there, innit?
Just over there. We're going to head to them,
yeah,
because it's worth a detour. There we are. I think there's two towers. They're very much on the edge, so care is definitely required if you're going to go right to them. This little crag now. Epic view into Martindale. heading off Bonscale Pike now, and we're heading towards the ridge to Loadpot Hill. I'll just pan you round. It's just a vast, grassy, reedy moorland. Not really quite sure how else to describe it. Featureless, I think is the word. Peaceful. Hear the larks singing. Nice grassy path. Just nice easy walking now, and that's Loadpot Hill over there. So I actually saw somebody that watches my channel, Gary. So hi Gary. Whether you'll be watching this, I'm not sure. I'm sorry I wasn't very talkative. I was actually a bit concerned about Billy really at the time, trying to get water for him. So it's nice to meet you anyway. And if you watch this, leave me a comment, because I've got a few Garys who subscribe to me and comment on my videos. I don't know which one you are. I didn't even ask your surname, so I do apologise. I just know you as Gary. You're doing a 16-mile route. Wow. Credit to you in this heat. So just come down to this beck, and a bit of a sheepfold or a bit of a disused barn. Never been down this bit, because I went wrong, didn't I? I've got a confession. I've gone the wrong way. The quickest way would be to head towards Swarth Fell, but I've come down to head towards the ridge, and we've gone down a little bit more than we needed to go back up. But on a day like today, it has been a godsend because of this beck. And there wouldn't have been a beck at Swarth Fell because this runs out further up. So it's been a godsend. If you've got a dog and it's hot, you can bear this in mind. This will be a water source for them. Wow. We found a bit of a grassy trod now. That was a bit off-piste. Get into this. I think we've added about a mile, have we?
Half a mile.
Half a mile and plus a bit more ascent.
But we did it on purpose because we needed to get to the water.
Well, we did. I must have subconsciously thought water.
Yeah, look at that, nice.
Yeah, that's where we should have been. Should have been on Swarth Fell, heading up gradually onto Loadpot Hill. So right now, this wide track that we're on is actually the old Roman road, or the course of the old Roman road, where the Romans used to exercise their horses, I think, on here. Not quite sure where from and to. I might do a little bit of info, try and find a bit of info about it. So I'm trying to act all clever when actually I'm not really. But it is the course of the old Roman road anyway. And I think they used to race horses along here, didn't they, Andy? Yeah. So this is the very broad summit of Loadpot Hill with a big trig on the top. 671 or 672 metres. I'm not sure which one. I think it's in between. Oh, nice breeze up here. As you can see, it's very flat and broad and grassy. So the actual summit is about 50 metres southwest of the trig column, but we're not going to head to it as we've done before. But just so you're aware, the actual true summit, you need to be where it's no feature, 50 metres southwest of the trig. So we're now leaving Loadpot Hill and follow a good track towards Wether Hill now, and it's relatively flat. Just a little bit of undulation going on. Beautiful larks singing. That's a nice one, Billy Bob. Have a good drink.
Not quite as painful.
So we've got far distant views over to the Pennines over there. You've got up to your right the views of Helvellyn and the Dodds. Straight on you've got Martindale. Vast open space up here. So you come up to this, I'm not quite really sure what it is. It looks like maybe a bit of, is it a grouse shooting shelter?
Yeah, Wether Hill.
Maybe?
Just past it. We've got a boundary stone which is about 20 metres
Or just a shelter?
over there. I think it's just a shelter.
Yeah, but there is a boundary stone just to the right of it. Can you see it there? So that makes actually a good navigational aid on your map, as it's actually on the map as a boundary stone, BS, and you've also got the shelter there on the map as well. So in bad weather, it's like a navigational aid, because there's not much else really to navigate by. Random posts. We're coming up to a big town. Boggy. Ooh. Oh, that sounds like Buddy's writing. Oh, dragonflies mating. Oh, lovely. Dragonflies. Don't think it's feeling very well. So this is the Wainright summit of Wether Hill, as there are two summits. So you've got to check which one's the Wainright one. It's the first one that you get to anyway. Pile of stones.
Pile of stones.
In fact, it might even be way up there.
Pile of stones.
This isn't the highest ground.
This is featureless.
Well, the actual summit is going to be probably to the left. It's a bit higher, and it says there's no feature. So bear that in mind. You've got to kind of detour off to get the true summit. But this will do for us, as we've done it before. Okay, we've come down from the main top bit, avoiding the Burkitt summit, and we found like a little patch of stones, a kind of a cairn I think, and there's a bit of a grassy trod heading down. So I'm trying to remember when I first did Wether Hill, there is a path that heads directly sort of zigzagging down towards the Coal and Pikeawassa, which cuts off about half a mile to the route that I've actually plotted. There's a path further along the ridge. If you're taking the Burkitt summit, you can get down from there. But we're not bothered about the Burkitt summit, and I want to cut about half a mile off. And we're going to have some lunch with a view. You can start to see the lovely view. We're going to head towards that barn, derelict barn, and you head up alongside that wall, heading up that bumpy ridge onto Pikeawassa. It really is a lovely view coming off this path. The light's amazing right now. Looking back from our descent path up onto Wether Hill. Butterflies! So you can see the ridge. You head up alongside the wall heading up onto Wainright Crag, and it's an undulating ridge over to Steel Knot, Pikeawassa. It's a fantastic summit, Pikeawassa. It's got a great big rocky, almost tor on top of it, and as I said earlier, the view is astounding. So once you're down off Wether Hill, you cross the beck, heading towards the old disused derelict barn, and then you want to look out for the path taking you through the wall, so you can head up onto Wainright Crags. So this track that we're on, if you don't actually veer off towards the barn and carry straight on, that will take you down the Fusedale Valley. So you've got options at this point. I like to give you options. If you don't feel up to doing Pikeawassa, you can just head down the Fusedale Valley and then back around to the coal at Martindale Pass. It just bypasses Pikeawassa. Alternatively, you can just do Pikeawassa on its own, head up from St. Peter's Church down to this barn and then down the Fusedale Valley. Makes a nice setting, doesn't it, that old barn? So the path heads down to the left, crossing the beck again, through the gate, onto the far side of the wall. I think you have to go on the far side of the wall, do you? Yeah, pretty sure you do. I've chosen the path that's probably a little bit further, but it's more flatter. Is that a word? Flatter? More flatter? More flat? Not as steep. There is a path right by the wall, but that goes down and up. This looks a lot easier, and it's not that much further. Oh, look at this for the view. You can start to see what it's going to be like on Pikeawassa. You've got a route down from Wether Hill, going on to highways eventually, Ramsgill Head, High Street on the far tops, Gout Hill in the middle. You've got the Nab and West Dodd, and going over to Angletown Pikes, Bede Fell, Place Fell. Fantastic view. Getting to the summit of Wainright Crags. You can see Pikeawassa sticking out there. Our last hill of the day. So just one more down and up. It's pretty special. And this is the view down the valley from the summit. Isn't that special? Beautiful ridge, beautiful valley. So we're heading off Wainright Crags now. You can see how undulating it is to get to Pikeawassa. Look at it though, look at that view. This is going to be a knee jerker, this. Epic though, look at that. And the view down into Martindale. Yeah, there is a little tiny foot stone, tiny little stile to get over this wall. There's the view. We're on the Pikeawassa. It's a bit busy at the moment, so just off this bit here with that view of Martindale. There's Ullswater and the Martindale Valley from the summit. That's the undulating ridge to get off. We're going to head down the left hand side of that back into Martindale. So we're going to head off left, heading towards Burkey Knot, which will take us directly back to St. Peter's Church. So I'm probably going to say goodbye now. Where's Andy gone? We're going to say goodbye as we're very nearly back at the car and I'm very nearly out of battery. It's been a super walk. 4 Wainrights bagged. Well, we've done them already, but we've done 4 Wainrights. Bonscale Pike, Loadpot Hill, Wether Hill and Pikeawassa. You going to say goodbye?
Goodbye.
See you in another adventure very soon.